Hey, how you doing? What's up? My name is Rodney and this is good news. Okay, so we're talking about what's happening in Zimbabwe right now. Rick Ross, one of the biggest rappers in the world, was in Harare for the very first time, and it was crazy cool performance. Well, I didn't get to go watch it because I'm not really interested in that kind of stuff. You know me, the nightlife is not my thing. But what I did find interesting is that he got paid $175,000 for about 50 minutes worth of performance. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why. How is it that one artist can be paid $175,000 for 50 minutes of their time and most of us can barely make $1,000 in a month? What's going on here? Is there some kind of a value that they create that we don't know about? Are Zimbabwean artists providing the same kind of value which is worth that much money? And what do we mean when we say value? Are we saying the way they perform, the quality of their songs, the quality of their sets? I'll let you decide for yourself. But in my opinion, I think you can see value where value is. At this particular performance, one ticket was going for $5,000 a piece, and that is crazy. But guess what? The $5,000 ticket is actually the one that got sold out first. And in fact, if you look at that entire concert, big brands came to associate themselves with it. MTV Base was there, Better Brands, Bel Air, Bank ABC, which just shows you that these big brands understand that this artist is bringing value in the form of customers, which are great for marketing their products. If you find yourself having a kind of product or a service that other big brands want to associate themselves with, then that is a measure of value. If we look at how local artists are treated by brands, I don't think they're providing the kind of value that brands are actually looking for. After all, my dad always used to tell me that my bank balance is an actual measure of my success in life. So having money, however, I've noticed that when it comes to how artists are paid, there's also the issue of what then are you allowed to say? What then are you supposed to say? For example, look at Kanye West. That guy got cancelled for saying what he thought, and he's the artist, right? But apparently the messages are owned by other people. But what exactly did Kanye say anyway?
Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is now blocked from using Instagram and Twitter because of racist and anti-Semitic messages that he posted. On Friday, Instagram was the first site to lock his account after Kanye posted text messages between himself and the rapper Sean Diddy Combs. In those messages, he accused Diddy of being controlled by Jewish people after Diddy criticized a shirt Kanye was photographed wearing that read, "White Lives Matter."
The rap star lashing out, tweeting, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I am going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people."
Oh, no, Kanye, you're going to do it again? You're going to do it again?
Well, apparently DEFCON 3 is in military mode, and he tried to take that on against the Jews. Whoa. And apparently the Jews own everything. I mean, just look at this.
You might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies. I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my design. You reap what you sow.
So when an artist is paid, are they still free to say whatever they want to say, or have they been bought? For example, the issue with Kanye West, a lot of the brands that have been supporting him have suddenly dropped him after he said things that they don't agree with. Does this mean that an artist has to stay under some kind of a control in order to be successful? And does this mean that the reason why our Zimbabwean artists are not successful is because they do not want to do what brands expect them to do? I don't know, but that's something surely to think about. And with Kanye West's recent drop, you can understand the reason why he's fighting. I mean, he's just trying to say, as an artist, I should be free to say whatever I want to say because, hey, poetic license, right? And not have to lose my entire life because of it. But when it comes to actual cancel culture, there is no one who is such an extreme victim as Andrew Tate himself. Andrew Tate, for those of you who might not be aware of this guy, is apparently the most famous man on the planet right now. He's an American former kickboxing champion who is now a businessman who started something called Hustlers University. This is a school for young men who want to be the alpha male, to make lots of money and to have big muscles and to get all the chicks. So he's well known for his controversial statements, which some people label as chauvinistic and sexist. But I don't know, like, you gotta hear for yourself what he says sometimes.
You said this, in general, The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. Having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't.
If you show a woman how to make $1,000 in an hour, she'll think, I can work 2 hours a week. If you show a man how to make $1,000 in an hour, he thinks I can make $18,000 a day. We think about the world.
So I don't want to get cancelled, but I don't know what you think about Andrew Tate, but that guy, I don't know. He's a guy. But because he speaks in this way, he has been cancelled. He just woke up one day and his Facebook, his Instagram, they were gone. I think he said even his Uber stopped working, and he was just knocked off every single social media platform that exists. I think now he's mostly posting on a social platform called Rumble, because those guys apparently they promote free speech. So what exactly are you allowed to say? And what exactly are you not allowed to say? And what's good for you and what's not? This is the big question of the media in the modern age. And I don't know if we're ever going to be able to answer it, but the media is so important because it's the only way people can actually communicate with each other, especially in a broader context. So the media, do you think it's sustainable where some ideas are allowed to flourish and others are not? Are we really in an era of free speech and communication? I don't know. I think some of these conversations are the reason why companies like Meta, which is formerly Facebook, are actually in trouble. It was formerly Facebook, which is one of the world's biggest communication companies if you actually think about it. I mean, at some point they had billions of users and they were the most popular social media platform on earth. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg himself is considered by many as the founder of social media, and I think they would be right in saying that because Facebook has done a lot and it runs pretty much the whole world. But such a company is also in the most trouble that you've ever heard of. I mean, they had to lay off 11,000 employees and they lost more than $200 billion in one day on the stock exchange. I mean, that's the biggest loss ever in the history of the stock exchange. And I don't know how you're going to do it, Mark Zuckerberg, but I know you're taking a pinch even in the pocket. I think what Meta should have done was simplified it. You know, people don't want to be plugged into a matrix and a virtual world all the time. No, people want to live in the real world, but the real world does need enhancement. So stick to the augmented reality stuff and stop trying to plug us in, man. Like, that stuff sucks. And the metaverse itself, many people who've been going on to it think it's just a terrible looking game. I mean, the graphics, just look at this. People laughed at Zuckerberg after he posted this proudly. And to be honest, there are literally video games that people are making right now that have millions of times of better graphics than this. Take, for example, one of the games that I'm super excited about. It's called the Callisto Protocol. It's an action horror game and definitely not for kids. These guys have gone so crazy in making this game that they actually made a documentary explaining how horrific and terrifying this is. Now, the director of this game is also the same guy who directed a classical horror game also called Dead Space. He was set in an old space station and some crazy aliens that really were violent and aggressive would attack these guys and you feel trapped and everything. And that game went down in history as one of the most terrifying games of all time. And the Callisto Protocol seems to be like trying to one-up that. I mean, just look at this. I mean, if you've got kids watching, send them out right now because this stuff is crazy. But just look at this. Just... You know, I cannot wait to play this game, and I'm super excited. By the way, I really love video games. I'm a nerd. So we're going to be talking about a lot of games on Good News, but this is definitely something to look forward to. And in terms of things to look forward to, the FIFA World Cup kicks off, and look at this image. This is the most exciting picture I've ever seen. And just a day before the actual World Cup kicks off, I don't know. So let me know in the comments. Are you betting on Lionel Messi or are you betting on Cristiano Ronaldo? Which team is it? Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? I'm super excited about that. And that has been Good News with Rodney. See you in the next one.